The rain hammered against the bulletproof windows of the black sedan as Marcus Chen stared out at the blur of Seattle's neon-soaked streets. At 42, he commanded a tech empire worth billions, yet the leather seat beside him remained as empty as it had for the past 3 years. Success, he'd learned, was a cold companion. His phone buzzed incessantly with notifications as stock prices, board meetings, acquisition deals, but tonight, each ping felt like another reminder of how utterly alone he was in his glass tower of achievements. "Sir, shall I take the usual route home?" his driver asked, glancing at Marcus through the rear-view mirror. Marcus nodded absently, then caught sight of something that made him lean forward. Through the rain-streaked window, he spotted a figure hunched at the bus stop on Pine Street. A young woman in scrubs sat on the metal bench, clutching something close to her chest, her shoulders shaking. Not from the cold, he realized, but from tears. "Stop the car," Marcus said suddenly. "Sir?" "Stop the car, please." As they pulled over, Marcus could see her more clearly. She couldn't have been older than 25. With auburn hair plastered to her face by the rain. Her nursing uniform was soaked through, and wrapped in her arms was a bundle that occasionally moved a baby. He realized the bus schedule posted above her head showed the last bus had departed 20 minutes ago. Marcus had built his fortune on quick decisions, on reading situations and acting decisively. But this wasn't business. This was something far more complicated, far more human. He watched her rock the baby gently, whispering something he couldn't hear, her lips moving in what looked like a lullaby or maybe a prayer. Before he could second-guess himself, he was stepping out into the downpour. "Excuse me," he called out, rain immediately soaking through his $1,000 suit. "Are you okay?" The woman looked up, startled. Her eyes were red-rimmed and exhausted, but there was something fierce in them too, the look of someone who'd been fighting battles all day and wasn't ready to surrender. She instinctively pulled the baby closer. "I'm fine," she said, though her voice betrayed her. It cracked on the second word. Marcus approached slowly, hands visible, the way you might approach a wounded animal. "The last bus was 20 minutes ago. It's going to be hours before the next one." He gestured to his car. "I can give you a ride somewhere safe." She shook her head quickly. "I don't take rides from strangers." "Smart policy," Marcus said, surprisingly himself with a small smile. "I'm Marcus Chen." He pulled out his business card, though the rain immediately began dissolving the ink. "CEO of Zenith Technologies." You might have seen the building downtown, the one with the ridiculous LED display that changes colors. Despite everything, she almost smiled at that. "The one that turns purple during football season?" "That's the one." "Terrible design choice, but my marketing team insists it builds brand recognition." He paused. "What's your name?" "Elena," she said after a moment's hesitation. "Elaine Rodriguez." "Well, Elena Rodriguez, I'm not asking you to trust me because I'm rich or because I have a fancy car. I'm asking because it's midnight, it's pouring rain, you have a baby, and no one should be alone at a bus stop right now. Especially not someone who clearly spent their day taking care of other people." Elena's grip on the baby loosened slightly. The infanta Marcus could see now it was a little girl, maybe 6 months old, had fallen asleep despite the chaos around her. "How do you know I take care of people?" "The scrubs, the stethoscope around your neck, and—" Marcus paused. "The way you're holding her, like she's the most precious thing in the world." Tears welled up in Elena's eyes again. "She is. She's my daughter, Sophia. She took a shaky breath. "I just finished a 16-hour shift at Seattle General. My car broke down this morning, and I couldn't afford to miss work. I thought I could make it to the bus, but my shift ran late because we had 3 emergencies and come with me, Marcus said gently. The words surprised him with their certainty. Let me take you home, both of you. Elena studied his face, and Marcus found himself hoping she saw something trustworthy there. After a long moment, she nodded. The ride to Elena's apartment in Columbia City was quiet except for Sophia's occasional contented sighs. Elena gave directions in a soft voice, apologizing for the rain they were tracking into his car. Marcus wanted to tell her that the car was just metal and leather, that what mattered was the sleeping baby in her arms and the relief slowly replacing the tension in her shoulders. This is it, Elena said as they pulled up to a modest apartment complex. Thank you. Really? I don't know how I would have. Wait, Marcus said as she started to get out. Your car, you said it broke down? Elena nodded. It's at the hospital parking garage. Probably needs a new transmission. I've been saving up, but with Sophia's daycare and... She shrugged, the gesture saying everything about choices between necessities. Marcus pulled out his phone and made a quick call. Tony, it's Marcus Chen. I need you to send a tow truck to Seattle General, parking garage level 2. There's a car that needs to be taken to your shop and fixed completely. Bill me directly. No, I don't know what kind of car it is. Just fix it and make sure it's safe. Tonight if possible. Tomorrow morning at the latest. Elena stared at him. You can too. I can't pay you back for her. I'm not asking you to. Marcus surprised himself again. He'd spent years calculating returns on investment, measuring every action by its benefit to his bottom line. This made no financial sense whatsoever. It made something else entirely. Sometimes people just need help. No strings attached. As Elena and Sophia disappeared into their building, Marcus sat in his car for a long time, watching the rain slow to a gentle drizzle. His phone buzzed with its usual cascade of notifications, but for once, he didn't reach for it immediately. 3 weeks later, Marcus was leaving his office when his assistant handed him an envelope. Inside was a photo of Sophia, now sitting up on her own, wearing a tiny t-shirt that read Future CEO. On the back, Elena had written, Sophia's first word was Mama, but I'm teaching her to say Marcus next. Thank you for showing us that angels sometimes wear expensive suits and drive fancy cars. P.S.A. The car runs perfectly. Marcus found himself smiling for the first time in months. He thought about Elena working her 16-hour shifts, about Sophia learning to sit up, about kindness as an investment in something that couldn't be measured in quarterly reports. That evening, instead of going straight home to his empty penthouse, Marcus drove to Columbia City. He didn't have a plan, just a feeling that maybe, sometimes, the best decisions were the ones that didn't make sense on paper. Elena answered the door with Sophia on her hip, both of them brightening when they saw him. Marcus, what are you doing here? I was wondering, he said, suddenly feeling as nervous as a teenager, if maybe you and Sophia would like to have dinner. Nothing fancier, just company. Elena's smile could have powered his lead billboard. We'd love that. Come in. I was just making spaghetti, but I should warn you Sophia throws more than she eats. As Marcus stepped into the small, warm apartment filled with Sophia's toys and Elena's laughter, he realized he'd been wrong about success. Real success wasn't about building towers of steel and glass. It was about building connections, about choosing kindness when you could choose indifference, about discovering that sometimes the most valuable thing you could offer someone wasn't money or power, but simply showing up. The rain had stopped falling, and through Elena's window, the city lights looked less like barriers and more like bridges, connecting all the lonely people who were brave enough to say, "Come with me,"